Sometimes they say things that make.
Well, you do that here.
Yeah, I know.
My father-in-law used to say, you look to listen to an intelligent man talking, you like to see what an intelligent man got to say. So he talked to himself all the time.
There you go.
You typically learn more when you're listening.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do when I buy my stuff from Canvas. It's not easy.
Don't you?
Absolutely.
Wendy?
I can act
Don't hold me.
this. We like to make our mom ready for us a little time.
All right.
We're getting close. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
It's actually right on.
Also, plus another good. I want to bring you through the little bags.
You work on that?
Yes, sir. We got it in the hall of the corner.
Oh,
You can close it.
See,
Yeah. This is true.
But it's getting there. Oh, there it is, yeah.
I'm saying something.
I don't see the point in waiting. We'll call the meeting to order of the Wilson's Mills Town Council on May the 20th at 6:30 p.m. Anyone who wishes to speak tonight, please sign in at the podium if you haven't done so. And hold your comments to 3 minutes when that becomes effective. At this time, we'll have the invocation. If you bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather to conduct our town business, give us wisdom, guidance, strength, and always give us the ability to have the right decision that benefits everyone in our community as we go forward with our development. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. This time we'll have the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I hear a motion for the approval of the agenda? Motion's made by Councilman Jernigan. I hear a second? Second by Councilman Johnny Eason. All in favor? Ayes have it. We'll move forward. Approval of the minutes for April the 15th. Assuming you each have had a chance to review those. Motion's been made by Councilman Wright. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman David McGowan. All in favor? We move forward. We'll have the first open forum. Anyone wishing to speak to the group tonight as we open the open forum?
I'm Brunette Eason, and I live at 202 Country Valley Place.
Thank you.
I know that y'all are working on the budget for next year, and I'm really upset to think that the salaries that y'all put in the budget, these people in this town, they don't make bad money, but I don't know why you would go all over the state of North Carolina in different towns when we live in Johnston County, and there are towns our size. People go from here to Raleigh to make high dollar money. But when you look at what I just passed out for towns that are our size, it's nothing like you are proposing to put in that budget. I know everybody wants to get a raise, but most of the time people get a 2, a 2.5, or a 3% raise. Councilman Drummond, is that what the county gets where you're at most of the time?
Either right now, 2.1% or 2.4.
Do you see where I'm coming from? I think we have people, Miss Sherry came to work here last year. She didn't come here making less money than where she was at. So if you look at what other people, we have a town administrator / clerk, we've got an assistant, administrator, helper, and a clerk, and we've got more people than we've ever had in this town. If you compare the salaries, and if you want to go along the local salaries for Johnston County, you can see what every town gets that is on the 2018-19 budget. So, I mean, I think everybody should get a raise as long as it's a decent raise, but I think the way y'all are proposing it is way out of control. And I don't know if you looked at the salaries you got from these other towns, but I think you need to look at the Johnston County. This is our county, and we don't live, you don't know what kind of education those people has, what kind of degrees they have, or they might have banks and a lot of business in their town, even though they might be a small town. Princeton has a lot more than we do, so does Pine Level. So we're just a small town, and if we don't have a bank or a drugstore or anything like that. So I don't know if y'all haven't ever been on that, but it's a good thing to look at and see what other towns make. But I think y'all are just way off the limits with what you're proposing. We need stuff at the park. If you've got money that you want to just give away, get other items at the park for the community to enjoy. The mayor has talked about adding on over here to our bigger town hall. We've also got plans that was made up a long time ago to put a town hall over here. The land is up bought here. We just don't want to waste money. We might have a big fund balance now, but if you're not sharp, will be deep in debt if you just don't control what you spend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else?
I guess so. Okay. Oh, somebody crossed off. Okay. We are Nelson and Kay Corbett. Oh, you're standing with me. And we talked to you guys he's just sitting there. We talked to you last month about the sewer issue that we have, and we're just here to get some kind of an update or some information maybe about how that's going.
I went and checked on your problem. I went
Okay.
to the county. I checked with Todd
Okay.
and Chandra. When you gave us this letter the other day, you gave us what they gave me.
Right, the specifications.
The option that you have,
Okay.
you have an option to run a 2-inch force main, pumping main, down Buzzell Pond Road.
Right.
I called your house to talk to y'all and nobody was there.
Okay.
But I have the maps on the sewer. Our sewer was never intended to go to your house yet. I mean, I don't know who told you all this, but I've got the drawings and I'll show you how far. It was going, it went down Main Street to Jones Street and it made a left.
Okay.
Now, Chandra and Todd, when I talked to them over at the environmental place,
Right.
they said if we were willing to let you tap into that manhole at Jones,
Correct.
we could, you could run a 2-inch and pump it to that. And as far as we're concerned, you can.
Okay.
Eventually, I'm not gonna say we're never gonna run it, but eventually we probably will run sewage down that road. But it won't go any further than because there's already a pressure line coming out of Johnson
out of
Farm.
Johnston Farms,
Right.
right?
It's a pressure line there. The houses before you get to Johnson Farm, it was about 5 houses on that road, I believe.
There is,
About 5.
Yeah.
The cost will be so great, in which if we put it in, the next year, we're gonna do most of our work over on Sheridan Drive as a subdivision over there. Try to get everything that way done. Because we've got 2 more subdivisions that we're gonna have to get eventually, but not right now,
right,
because they're not that early. But by looking at what Chandra and Todd have told me, the option that y'all got is to run a 2-inch, pump it on a 2-inch line down to that manhole.
correct. Correct. And we just need your permission to attach to it, pretty much.
Okay, when's Leanna coming back?
28.
The 28th, that's next week. Mr. Anderson, we can give them permission to tap into that manhole at Jones and Main Street. We'll give
Because
you,
that's the only option we really have.
yes, that's the only
so-
one, that's the only one right now that you've got
Right,
until we do run sewage down that road.
Correct.
But
and
we,
like I said, the notice of violation, we don't want that to happen.
no,
So,
mm-mm. And like I said, I talked to Todd and to Chandra, and that was they told us that they can pump it, I think it's a 2-inch force pump. You pump it a 2-inch line to that manhole, into that manhole. Now, we haven't opened that line up yet because they're not through doing everything they're supposed to do. They're still working on putting some asphalt down, putting a little concrete in certain places, but we're getting ready to open that line up for people to start attaching to,
okay.
hooking on to.
So is there a way that we can have an engineer do that without
Well-
disturbing what the town's doing?
You won't disturb nothing that we've done because we hadn't done anything from Jones Road back that way.
That way?
The only thing will be on, you need to get an engineer to get the encroachments from the state, and I'm sure they'll probably give them to you, to run that 2-inch sewer line down and tap it into our manhole.
Okay.
You can do that. But, the tap we'll have to tell you when you can tap in because we haven't even tapped anybody into it yet.
Okay.
But it won't be long, I can tell you that.
So it would be advisable then to go ahead and get an engineer and get it
Yes.
started?
Go ahead and get everything started,
Okay.
and Leanna will be back Monday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
She'll be back Tuesday, and we sit down and talk to her about what you're gonna do, but I'll just make a note that you're gonna tap into the manhole, because it's there,
Right,
it's ready,
right. Okay. Okay, well,
and
that's,
there won't be any problem at all,
okay.
because you're just gonna you're gonna pump into it with a 2-inch force main, or
Okay.
2-inch force line, yeah.
Okay. All right, that sounds great. Thank you.
But like I say, I tried to call you, and I had my notes and stuff at home, but I didn't bring nothing but this paper with me.
Okay.
But I
But
tried to call your house.
That plan that she has is workable.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Councilman Eastman, I'm assuming that they would have to go to Johnson County and
Yes.
sign up as a sewer
They've got to go to
district.
Johnson County, get a permit. I think it's $15. I
Okay,
believe that's what she stated in here. And then they have to pay the assessment fee,
okay.
and I think it's $27.85. Do you have county water?
Yes.
Okay, because anytime you get sewage, you have to have county water. If you don't have county water, they won't let you hook up to it. They told us one time they were gonna meter the wells, but they changed their mind after we got into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we do have county water, so
Mhm.
we're good there.
But you can do that.
Okay. And the other thing we want to mention, I know we're only supposed to have 3 minutes,
That's
but
fine.
you may want to seriously consider lowering the speed limit on Oswald's Pond Road.
No, I've offered to make them a deal on that intersection up back, but they won't take me up.
I tell
We
you what,
petitioned
it's,
them
it's like
many
a
times.
racetrack.
Yeah.
It really is like a racetrack.
The stop sign is no good up there because we petitioned them many times to change it. But stop signs coming this way,
Oh, this
but they
way.
won't change it.
Yeah, but it's just,
And I've talked to the town about putting up a traffic camera.
that's a good idea.
I told them I'd finance it if I get the first year funds on it.
Because you'll catch
I
a
gotta get
lot
my
of,
money back.
Oh, yeah.
they do, they use it like a racetrack. The other day,
It
there was
is.
a couple of them just barreling down the road.
But you know, the county is one of the biggest culprits. If you sit at that stop sign and you'll see, I bet you there's not 1 out of 10 county trucks going to the water plant that stops.
Mm.
I was out there and it was 11 out of 11 that didn't stop.
We've noticed that there's been a police car right there on
Yeah.
the extension, just kind of waiting to see. So that's a good spot for them.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be a good
That
spot
was
for
by
the county
design.
too.
I stop in both directions just out of fear.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you don't stop coming down Jones Road, somebody coming across Main Street's gonna hit you.
Gonna get you, yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for cleaning Ocean's Pond Road.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, yes.
You're welcome. The one
Anyone else?
They fly down that road, and I'm sitting there and they go, oh,
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
But thank you, you're welcome.
No one else, we'll close it open forum. We'll move right into our regular business. Planning report, all right.
The first order of business, Mr. Dean, is to correct, ordinance that had already been, presented to the board in the past, and the plat was wrong. The meets and bounds were listed wrong in it, so this is just to amend the, previous ordinance that was presented. The meets and bounds are correct in it now.
And everybody's got a copy of that, correct? Anybody have any questions?
Is that the last 3 pages you gave us?
No, sir, that's right behind,
GNS property.
Okay.
mhm,
GNC.
GNC property.
Yeah, GNC property.
Golden Creek.
See, so all we're doing is just correcting something.
Yes, we're correcting the meets and bounds that was,
I make a
incorrectly
motion that
listed
we,
in the previous ordinance.
I make a motion that we, change the ordinance to meet the requirements, for them to meet the requirements, however you have to state it.
Motion has been made by Councilman Triplett to accept the changed amendments for the ordinance for GNC properties. I hear a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Philip Wright. All in favor?
Uh,
The ayes have it. The status on the update of the National Flood Program.
Valerie just wanted to announce that we are now part of the National Flood Insurance Program and have been approved.
And that was mandated for us to do. There was no exception. We had to do it. What that,
That's correct.
in layman's terms, means if you are in a floodplain, you can't have the right now to have insurance.
This is true.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? Street Department.
We're still, trying to figure out what to do on Country Valley, but that's, we're gonna see what we can do with Mr. Vincent. If he will not give us the deed, we're gonna have to figure that out.
Say it was not.
And we're not. Claimed that he heard that, there's gonna be a big development down in there. He, was not going to do it, and I tried to tell him, I tried to alleviate his fears. I said, there is no big development going in there. All we're trying to do is get where we can maintain the road. We're not even gonna pave it, we're not gonna widen it. All we're gonna do is fix the area where it floods, then we're gonna fix it so that we can put it and, gravel it and grade it, and that's all we're gonna do. I talked to him for 20, 25, 30 minutes about it and tried to tell him 5 to 6, probably 10 times, no, there's not a development going in there. And he said, well, I'm gonna have to think about it. And somebody's told him that there's a big development going in there, I don't know who it is. And he said he's gonna have to get back up with his lawyer. Now, that was, Wednesday, I think, of last week, somewhere in that range, wasn't it, Mr. Henderson, because I called you, and, he said, I'll get back in touch with you, and he has not, so.
It's gonna be a lost cause,
Well,
everything.
we're gonna talk about what we can do about it, but Mr. Uzzle, who knows him also, I thought I could talk to him about it, but he said no to me, so Mr. Uzzle's gonna try to give up.
Yeah, I don't know if I can help, but I'll certainly call him and see.
But, it's nothing,
That's all I know to do.
I thought we had, when I first talked to him, I talked to him twice before, and both times he seemed willing to do it, and then this last time when I talked to him, it was, well, somebody's told me there's a big development.
Where's he talking, up on off of fire department further north, towards Island Landing? Is that what he's thinking?
I don't know.
He owns that
Yeah, where's he talking about where he thinks there's a development coming here?
back in our place, back
Oh,
in our
back
place.
to your place?
Not a development going in there, because Linda owns the left-hand side of the road going in, and then my brother owns the right, and I own the rest of it. So I know there's not a development going back there.
Well, maybe if we could, some people can, talk to him and alleviate his fears of there's a development going in, maybe he'll do it, I tried to alleviate his fears, but I couldn't.
All right, anything else with the street department? Okay, Councilman Wright, events?
Oh, yeah, Silver Star's been meeting on the Wednesdays, I don't know what the first Wednesday and the second Wednesday, or third Wednesday of the month, at right now. And they've been having, making, different projects and, having dinner at the baseball field, I think. But anyway, they're still having their meetings and so forth, and the events board is beginning to plan for the, Pumpkin Festival upcoming in October. Trying to get out some invitations for vendors and so forth to attend it. And, not a whole lot of update on the park. The rugby club was up there this past Saturday, spreading seeds and straw and so forth, and talked with Ted, and he said that they were planning on coming back later on when the contractor got the chance to spread the topsoil on it. So I don't know what good it did to put the rice seeds down now and then come back and put topsoil on top of it, but whatever we're doing. So that's about it.
Okay,
Phil, they have not done the grading for their main one, have they? So what you're talking about is there gonna be 2 fields that they graded for, or just 1?
3.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the ones they've already done that grading on.
They have not graded the back field behind that one, Jim. They've all dirty in there, but I don't think they've got it graded. They got
So the
all
only one
that
they've got is the first one.
That's right, the one on the front.
The multi-purpose field.
Yeah. Okay.
And they haven't done a very good job with that.
Not from
right.
what I can say.
That's what it said, they was gonna come back and put topsoil on it later, but they might have put the seed straw down Saturday, so, I don't know what they got in their head.
Okay,
Sometimes wonder.
and we've got, Community Fun Day coming up. So that's part of the events too as well.
When is that?
August 24th, from 11 to 2.
But just like we did last year, we had the vendors and,
Vendors are for the bucket day.
yeah, no red, I'd make a motion, no red hot dogs this year.
No, I was gonna tell you there's red hot dogs involved.
I made the motion, no other kind.
I'll bring my own brown.
Yeah, bring your own, David. I'll take care of
I
it.
did last year too, so I
Yeah.
may as well this year.
All right, Councilman Easton, sewer report.
Before I get into the sewer report, I forgot it a while ago, when we were up the street. At one of the budget meetings, you asked me to check with the state on litter sign.
Yeah,
I talked to Ronnie Keeters, he's engineer in Division 4. the guy that works under him is Andy Brown. The state does not put up litter signs anymore. They will bring some lighting signs that they'll put on the streets, some that will light up.
Solar powered type thing.
I don't know what they are. He said it would, he said, but they moved them every 3 months. If anybody, he said they might stay there longer than that if nobody else want them. But it's a state program and the state don't put up litter signs anymore. They said they didn't do it and they won't let you put litter signs up on their post. I asked him if we put our own up, but you can't put them up on state right away. Now, we can put them on our streets.
That's not where the problem is though.
Yeah, he said that, Andy Brown is the state engineer that comes out. He'll come out and check the streets for litter. I was gonna tell you, Saturday not to clean it up, Andy might come,
Yeah,
but he did.
You made my heart flutter there for a minute. I could have dirtied it straight up. Your street probably. Just ignore it for a while.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he said he would come out and put the lighted signs up about the litter and they could stay as long as 3 months unless somebody else will.
How many?
Then we can move it to another street for
Yes,
3 months.
right,
How many
okay.
would you bring out at one time?
2.
2? That works.
Put one on, put one at, Sutherland Road,
Well, I'd say,
one on Wilson Mill Road, one on, and then alternate them around, or you can start out with Uzza Pond. I know, on Uzza Pond Road, Roger said that it was a mess all the time.
Need about 1 week of not picking it up.
Yeah, Roger Stanley said it was tough.
Let's see if we can move forward with that, Randy.
But I'll give you the man's number and who to talk to. You had to wait for him to call you back because I waited 4 days. He,
I think that's the same one I talked to about it that day.
yeah, Andy Brandon, Division 4.
I don't know if it was Andy or not. I think it was-
Well, Ronnie Keters is
It may have been.
he's the engineer over the whole thing. He's over those bridges and stuff out here too.
Right.
But Andy Brown is the one that comes out and he'll look at the roads and tell you what he will and won't do.
Well, it depends. Again, if we pick him up, he's gonna go, there's nothing
Yeah, there's
there.
nothing back.
Yeah, but some roads we pick up on a consistent basis because it's just constant, so.
Yeah.
If he get in touch with me, I can tell him those areas, they're not gonna have trash there on that particular weekend probably, but I don't know. Gives my guy something to do on Saturdays, but there are still certain areas that we can't hit all the time, like Fire Department Road is
Yeah.
one. And Puzzle Pond and parts of Main Street down there. Main Street this time was worse.
And
than
Jones
others.
Road.
And Jones Road is not that bad. There's a lady, Miss Shockley, who lives up Jones Road. I gave her a vest, I gave her 5 bags, and she keeps Jones Road clean. She
Bless her heart.
will clean it, and she knows where to put the bag, and I'll have it picked up. So Jones Road is no big deal. We don't touch it, she does.
But we could put some signs up on our streets.
Right.
Parker, Deer Flag, Antler, the
Yeah.
ones that the town owns.
Yeah, and it'll remind people, not just there, but everywhere, so.
But how many times do you go on Parker? How many times you go on Pritchard?
I don't, but it keeps it in front of them, that litter is illegal.
That's right.
Please don't do it. So it's just repetitive, you know?
I'd love to see them give out a fine ticket one time. That's
I
better
would too.
communication than anything. Okay, we'll get back to sewage. I need a resolution tonight authorizing the issuance and sale of sanitary sewage system revenue bond series 219 or 2019 of the town of Wilson's Mills, North Carolina, in the aggregate principal amount of $3,003,000. There's 2 of them actually, there's 2 bonds. One is for $2.63 million and one is for $373,000, but they total up. Can we put them together, Mr. Anderson, or you want to,
I think they probably want these separate.
you want them separate? Just for the USDA.
I think we'll fill them in separate, make everybody happy.
Okay,
Trying to see, let's see, trying to see where the first one is opposed to the second one.
the first one is $2,630,000.
Page A1.
That is, what is it, bond one? R1.
Oh,
Mhm. And
What
R3,
page is that on?
2 and 3. And R2 is for 373,000. On both of them, it gives you the yearly principal and the yearly interest that you pay. I think we have to pay interest the first year.
And this is required.
Yes.
I move we accept this bond resolution,
R1.
the first one.
Motion's been made by Councilman Easton and second by Councilman Wright for the approval of bond R1 as required by the USDA.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Phil,
opposed?
Philip made the motion, and David second.
I said that.
No, you said,
No, you said him.
that's okay.
Excuse me, I thought Johnny was making a motion and Philip was seconding.
He made it.
Pardon me. Correct that, please, ma'am.
The
My
second
mistake.
one is a revenue bond anticipation note, series 2017. And it will be R2,
What page is that, A1?
4,
A4.
no, page 4.
Page 4.
On the back of the read right there.
Page 4 is the R2 bond. It's all on page 2 and 1.
And the interest rate on that's gonna be at 2.75%.
Yes, I think so.
George said it.
One is at 3.25 and one is at 2.75, yes. This is the money we're having to pay back. We got a loan grant from USDA and we had to pay back 57% of the 2.6 million. Well, actually, that is how much we had to pay back. It was more than that. And on the second one, we got a 65-35 to R2.
I hear a motion.
I move we accept resolution R2.
Motion's been made by Councilman Wright to accept the resolution for R2 for the USDA bond.
I'll say.
Second by Councilman Easton. All in favor? Thank you, gentlemen. Anything else in the sewer,
The
Johnny?
rest of what we've got is right now, we're trying to get all these people satisfied with their yards. And they're finishing up pouring concrete, but the only thing that we like is Poplar Creek and Poplar Creek Street and Pear Tree. And I talked to Leanna about it. Poplar really needs paving on both sides. But Ralph's just gonna pay, the one that he messed up, that's what he's paving. And what he's messed up, he's paving that. And we're gonna do some patchwork on it and let it go until next year, and they're gonna pave the whole subdivision. Leanna said she could take care of the flat, so just, she'll be knowing what's going on. Now, I guarantee people will write it down so they know what date it's gonna be paid.
Well, it was paid very thinly in the beginning, which
7/8
is the problem
of an
now.
You got it. And we had an issue, I don't know whether we still have it or not, with heavy trucks going in over there. One guy's running a trucking company out of his house. But once you pave these streets, that green asphalt will not stand those heavy trucks.
So with the sewer project, all we lack now is Poplar Creek and,
Paving Poplar Creek and doing some dress up work in the yards. We've got it, all the lines are in the ground, everything's ready. We're waiting on Brad. And I know Ken's waiting for me to call him about what we're gonna do on the streets, and he's just gonna pay those. But I think they might have a little testing over here because they got to run a mandrel down Swift Creek and back down the other way to the other sewage line. But they had to wait 30 days to do that. But it's in the ground.
and how close are we to having the computer program in the system to be ready to run a test run for billing?
Should be, month of June, that we'll be able to do that.
So we're close to having a dry run? Okay,
We need to, in June, in May or June, we need to start talking to the residents, the ones that are gonna hook on, so they can go ahead and get prepared for it. And, we're gonna have to get prepared for it too. So that we can, when we open that line up, they can go ahead, do their attachments, and everything starts right then. And it will probably be July, I figured it'd be June 1, but July 1st is probably when we do our first billing. I know, Mr. Anderson, you told me not to wait July.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. But, I imagine you'll start the first billing in July.
So
Okay.
people need to be told now to go ahead and get their contractors, don't they?
Well, they need to go ahead and start looking for contractors and, we will start to, they probably ain't gonna do it until you tell them they can hook to the line. Cause some of them short hooks. Some of them comes right out and goes in.
can we put together a list of them people that they could contact to do their hookups?
They didn't want the town to get involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So it's favoritism.
But you need,
companies.
you need to send some kind of notice out, I think, pretty soon.
Well,
probably.
We're gonna do it on the blackboard, I
Okay,
think,
yeah, that'll work.
and I don't know if they're gonna send out letters or not. They could do one of those, prep billings and send it to them and just tell them this is a sample of what's to come. And as of July 1.
I think we need to do that, and I think we need to do it quickly. You don't need to
I think we need
procrastinate.
to do it. I don't think we need to wait till
We
July.
We won't be sending out buildings to the county building.
No, the county will do all
You're
the
just talking about the
billing.
ones that are not hooking up.
Yes,
What
the
you're
ones
talking
that's
I'm
not
talking
hooking
about the
up.
ones that are not hooking up.
Mhm.
County's gonna bill the other folks.
Yeah.
We know that.
Well, they ain't gonna send out sample buildings.
No, they won't. And I hope it's not a shock to some of these people when they get their bill, get a notice from the county saying, because they've already signed up to do it. Oh, we do have something else to do. We've got one or two that has to be hooked to their house, but we can't do that until they switched over from CBDG, ones we had to leave off. But we can't hook that up until the lines are ready to go, because when they say you can start putting your sewage in them, that's when the warranty starts. 1 year. We get a 1-year warranty. After that, of course, I don't think you'll have any problems, not from what I've seen. I think they've done a good job. They've done fabulous work, all of it, and people in the town are saying that they have too.
So percentage of completion at this point is in the 90s.
98. The only thing we got to do is, like I say, hook up 2 or 3 people. And we have to get the lines cleared first. We have to have them available to run the sewage in.
Very good. Thank you, John. Councilman McGowan, police report.
Chief Williams is on vacation. He'll be back tomorrow, but he's included his report in your packet. I assume everybody's looked it over. I know as much about it as you do. If you have any questions, I don't see anything that is a flag for anybody. And on the back, of course, are the stats, typical stuff. Nothing changed, nothing going on. So that's the end of that. If you have any questions, he'll be back in town pretty soon. I want to go back up to the planning section real quick, if I may, get off the F when we're done with the police thing. All right, Mayor?
Sure.
I'm done with the police side, so I just wanted to talk about that. If you recall, the the development that was approved last year by H&H Construction on Powhatan and Sutherland, the two that joined, except for the wetlands area. The one on Sutherland, 90 some odd acres there, was resold
Right.
to another company out of Wilmington. And they're already up. They've surveyed it. They've purchased not only the property, they purchased the plans and everything else. They don't have to come before us for anything. It's already been approved. The same design, the same houses, the same streets, sidewalks, everything. So I just want to let you know, I spoke with the grading supervisor of the company that's doing the site prep.
Ralph Iker.
No, this was a different Gary something, right? He's the supervisor of the company that's going to be doing the grading, the streets, sidewalks, all that stuff, the sewers. And they're the ones that have contracted with the company to come in and harvest whatever's there for the trees and to get rid of the trees. It's going to start, remember we had planned on something like next year. They were going to start one development, then the second one. With the purchase of the new ones coming in, they're going to start this week. So be prepared. Sutherland's going to have a lot more traffic. Unlike what they did over on Powhatan, which was just straight, for lack of a better term, slash and burn, which cast a huge smoke pall over half of Wilson's Mills. We got that stopped as a violation of Wilson's Mills nuisance ordinance, and it was cease and desist. They refused to answer telephone calls from Valerie. They said, yeah, we'll pass it along to the company. And finally, we got Valerie and a police officer to go out, cease and desist right now. They have not burned anything since then, so I don't know what they're going to do. That's their problem. The new company coming in is going to be using what they call a burn curtain. I don't know if you're all familiar with it. It's a large, large box that'll open at one end, and it opens a flip top and has a blower at the other end. Put the trees in it. Started off with some diesel fuel. Once it gets going, they close the back door. They close the top. When the smoke particles come up, it'll go into the ceiling of that thing they close the box with. It goes up in there. There's a blower that'll blow air, take all those smoke particulates back in to be reburned. And then whatever is left gets sucked in by a fan and shot straight up in the air. So it's 95% effective, so we won't have anything, hopefully, like we did a couple of weeks ago. It's EPA approved. It's going to be interesting to watch, but we'll keep a close eye on it because a lot of residents complained last week. They were calling the state, they were calling EPA and everybody until we got it shut down. Okay, so just going to let you know the construction starts this week sometime.
Interesting. Okay, Mr. Jernigan, maintenance?
There was a piece on one of the playgrounds that was broken last Friday. I went up and fixed it, where it wouldn't cut anybody. We're still trying to hire somebody to do our maintenance stuff. Talked to Leanna the other day. She said the mayor's been cutting the grass, and whenever you need somebody to help you with that, call me. I'll be more glad to help you out with that, 'cause I know that's a big job, especially here and there. I don't know who all applied for it. I don't know if anybody applied for it.
We've had one applicant,
But
so we need to spread the word.
yes. that's
This is
exactly
a
what
good
we've got to
job
do.
with good pay and good benefits. I don't
What
understand.
seems to be the whole, any idea the whole
I have
time?
no idea. They put it everywhere.
We put it
No results.
on,
People don't
in the
wanna work.
league. We put it in the
Yeah.
league magazines, all that good stuff. We can't
My-
get any hits on it at all.
My question was, with respect to that, putting it in the league magazine and places like that, that's nice to advertise it to other jurisdictions, but if I'm out there looking for a job, I'm going online and I'm looking at some of these, monster.com and jobs.com.
They've done
That's
that.
where I'm going.
It's on
Are we
Indeed, I
on
think.
there?
I think it's on Indeed.
Indeed.
Indeed?
Mhm.
Okay,
And that's one of the biggest ones
okay.
in our
As
area.
long as we're doing something like that, not just relying upon local.
We are.
All right.
If I were 30 years young, I might resign and take it up, but I'm not going to.
If I was 5 years older, I could retire from the county and get a double retirement, but, yeah, if you know anybody that's looking a good job, is willing to work, have them come in.
Okay, anything else on maintenance? We'll move forward. Financial report, Ms. Hudson?
Yes, in your packets, Mayor, got the review of the financial statements for April, the revenue and the expenditure. You had any questions?
Anyone have any questions on the financial report? The award to bid for the physical audit, that's in your packet as well.
Yes, sir, we've received, 2 bids to complete our 18-19 fiscal year budget. One is from Auditor Andrew Harris, and the other one is from the current one that's, that we had, that did it last year, S. Preston Douglas and Associates. And so I'll need a motion in reference to which auditor the board feels that would be right for the town.
Have we ever used the Andrew Harris at
We
all?
have.
We have? How long ago?
I'm not sure, Mr. David, but Leanna said that we had used them.
What was the reason why we don't use them any longer?
You didn't have a question?
From what I can tell with the audit contract, Preston Douglas and Associates is higher than what Mr. Harris is. And, while Andrew Harris, he comes from Farmville, he's located in Farmville, however, and he'll come straight to town hall, he'll do your audit here, sit on site and never charge for, travel charge, mileage, or anything of that nature. And so, but that's up to the board as to which one that they would prefer.
I know this Preston Douglas Associates, we've used them a couple times, haven't
Mhm.
we? 2 or 3 times.
Did we use them last year?
Yeah.
We didn't have any problems with them, did we?
I think so far we've been getting pretty good results from them. I don't
Did their price go up?
know. I've been problems that we had with them.
It's like $11,000.
11,000 versus 8,000. I think the decision is pretty obvious myself, but
Well, what did we pay them last year? You said it's 11,000,
11,000.
same price, so it hasn't gone up?
they got to be in compliance. And
I,
other people are $8,000 and
One's 10,000. Preston Douglas and Associates is $10,000.
But they also charge you to do your AFA report, and that's $500.
They do
It's
what?
another report,
And you
another
have-
report, financial report that the town has to have.
You have to send them the, they come up and you have to send them the information.
Does this other company charge you too?
This other company to come here and travel,
Yeah, they'll.
no, they don't, not that I, because we send all their information, from what I understood, that all the information is sent to them in Wilmington electronically.
Are you talking about,
Wilmington or,
are you talking about the President Douglas and them?
in Farm.
No, the one that it comes from Farmville, he will come on site.
Right.
Douglas, we have sent her.
Douglas, we send to Wilmington.
Yes.
I know they were here when, last year because we had to send them a lot of stuff.
I wish we knew why we got away from Andrew Harris. I understand the principle is to change
I'm
every
not
once in a
sure,
while.
Leanna did mention it, I'm not sure if it's, as to the reason why, Mr. David, but she said that we did use, Mr. Harris a long time ago.
Yeah, that's way bit back.
We have had some auditors that kept getting complete audit on time. They were not so behind
Mhm.
what they should have been.
What's your take on it? Would you prefer?
I would prefer Andrew Harris.
Why?
Because I've worked with him in the past. I've worked with, I know other towns that I have close relationships with, that I have worked part-time with them in their finances. And Mr. Harris does their, accounting work as well. And I just find him to be true to his work, and his coworkers are, interactable with the staff, kind, they're polite, they respect their space. I mean, before we give them their space too, they,
Right.
you know, they request something and we give it to them.
Now, we used Douglas last year, correct?
Mhm.
Who did we use the year before?
Douglas.
All right. My feeling is, I understand with these sorts of things, auditors, you really do need to switch them up once in a while. We've used Douglas a couple of times. Harris is no problem. You recommend them. They're less expensive. My vote would be for Harris.
That much,
Do I hear a motion to that effect?
I will make a motion that we select the Andrew Harris CPA firm as our auditors.
Motion has been made by Councilman Gowan, second by Councilman Jernigan. All in favor of using Harris and Associates for the new audit?
Aye.
All opposed? Good deal. That saves $2,000. Well, there's some amends that they could put on there, but I don't think they will.
What are you talking about in reference to?
Well, it says there's a $500 charge for this and a $500 charge for that, which means it could be a maximum of $9,000.
That, now, like I said, with the reference to the AFA report, that will cost the $500, but that's also in the bid as well.
It's in
Okay.
the $8,000.
Good deal.
Bid. Yeah.
All right. That's good. $8,000 then.
Okay, the next on, the agenda is I need a motion to call a public hearing for next month's meeting in reference to finalizing and adopting the, set of, proposed budget that we have.
I make a motion to call for a public hearing on the budget, at our next, council meeting. I don't know the date, but 17.
Do y'all not think we need another budget meeting to discuss it in more detail before you do that?
But you need to call for your public hearing, because even if we do have another, another budget meeting,
Yes,
we need to go ahead and call for the public hearing for
to
the
be
next-
approved in June. I understand. Okay, got you. I remember. Okay,
Yeah, I should July 1.
we have a motion by Councilman Wright. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman David McGowan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I do, but I'd love to have another meeting.
I'm gonna have another budget meeting.
But I don't think that precludes it. I think that just sets a
Okay,
public
it sets a
hearing.
precedent for
But we'll have,
to have it, to say that we've got a budget ready by.
right, but
the
we can
next
have
meeting.
another meeting before that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
So did you oppose it, Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone else?
Aye.
Everyone else is in favor. I don't get a vote.
Now
We've got to have, we have to have the public hearing on it.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you
Yes.
have a public hearing on the budget that you're gonna put out before them, that you lay out.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that we're gonna have another meeting, but
Let's establish when we're gonna have that meeting.
I'd like for it to be on Monday or Tuesday.
Well, next week, the planning's on Tuesday because the 27th is Memorial Day, so the planning has been moved to the 28th unless you have it at 3:00 in the afternoon. What works for your,
3 o'clock in the afternoon's fine with
We
me.
had an appointment, Jesse.
Huh?
An appointment.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I can't do it. Can we do it the week?
Randy,
after
what's
that?
your
And next week.
day?
2 Tuesdays in a row. next week.
Well, then I can't do Tuesday.
May the 31st to June the 8th, I'm out of town.
You what?
May the 31st to June the 8th, I'll be out of town.
Okay, what happens with the 29th?
I'm good with that.
29th at 3 o'clock,
What day is that?
Wednesday.
I can't do Wednesday. But that's, we gotta have,
You sure?
yeah, well, we can do, I'd rather, if we're gonna do it Wednesday, it needs to be like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
It's good with me.
That's fine with me. I'd like to see all of us here. for the
I want
last
to.
one.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock Wednesday?
I'll see if I can get off.
All right.
Okay, that's gonna be Wednesday next week. 7 p.m.
29th. You gonna be all right?
I think so.
Okay.
Sure, a few tears.
Town administrator report.
Okay, and the last item on the agenda is, some body armor and old police uniforms. They were gray in color, that needs to be surplus, and this is, need the motion to go ahead and surplus these out.
The body armor is no good to start
Right.
with, it's all run out.
Or they can use that for training.
They were
Training
gonna use that
purposes.
for signing, yes.
I hear a motion that we move the police department's 2 items into surplus so it can be disposed of.
So moved.
Made by Councilman McGowan,
Second.
second by Councilman Jernigan. All in favor? This time there's no other town business. We'll move into our second open forum. Anybody like to speak? If not, at this time, we'll close the open forum. And I'd like for us to go into closed session.
I wasn't aware of that. It's not on the agenda. Closed session. Not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda, but if you don't want to, then we won't.
But
I
I'm
would like
fine.
for us to.
That's fine. You have to make an agenda amendment or something, do you not, Mr. Anderson or Sherry?
I talked to her earlier about it, but I didn't call and put it on the agenda because I didn't have the information until today.
You need to state the subject.
The subject is land acquisition.
Fine.
So your motion will just reference that.
Okay, that's good.
That's fine.
Who made a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go into closed session for land acquisition.
Thank you all for coming.
Ms. Corbett, as soon as we get these lines straightened out, we will call you.
Go cut that
Okay.
machine off, young lady.
We'll get you informed on when you can.
Wednesday.
Thank you.
Make
Council.
sure you put the right number, because we don't have a house phone.
I'm sure glad you said something, Mayor, 'cause I forgot.
So you can have like all three, well, you can have all three of my kids, but Butch.
Yeah, I know you now.
Hey, I knew you, Butch, but I could not think
I
of your
do,
name.
hey, when you see somebody out of place, that's what you don't, I'll do the same thing, like, man, I know them, but not here.
That's right.
9-3.
Yeah, I did teach you all three of them.
I'll see you soon, sir.
See y'all.
This is
Sit by here.
this.